Broadcasting from the heart of Blue City Capital, our crack team of PR specialists and social engineers are making a lot of money by producing rage bait and misleading headlines that bury the real story. This is Blue City News.
Good evening and welcome back to Blue City News.
I'm vapid alcoholic.
And I'm abusive narcissist.
The nation is in shock today as the brave women of the Secret Service saved populist Trump bot from a random bullet today in Butler, Pennsylvania.
And that's not all. You can see. What the fuck? Scanning. Target acquired. Destroy without mercy. Fight.
Several innocent bystanders were also injured in the gunfire, and one man died. But luckily, it hasn't deterred partisan propagandists online, claiming it was staged.
Our special news correspondent, Isolated Integrity, was able to sit down with Secret Service Director, Woman Moment, to explain how this could happen.
Thank you for joining me today. The American people have a lot of questions about how this could happen. First of all, was this a failure of your department?
Thank you for this opportunity to talk about myself. I want to say that the buck stops with me, and I accept full responsibility. So having said that, it's everyone else's fault.
Why was the shooter able to access a roof so obviously close to the rally stage?
Look, climbing on roofs is scary. If I ask an agent to start climbing those things, someone could get hurt. You'll notice that particular roof is kind of slopey. No one could get up there. It's not realistic.
How do you explain the bright neon sign set up a day before the rally, pointing out the roof access next to a crate of rifles?
We need about 60 days to come up with a
We're cutting that interview short as it appears our rookie reporter, Isolated Integrity, is asking real questions. And on behalf of the WSA TAN network, we apologize for that brief display of old-school journalism. We'll make sure Isolated Integrity gets trained properly on how we do things here.
I want to take a moment to address something that's really bothered me. Everyone is saying that Trump bot staged this to get an advantage in the polls against Biden, and I think they have a point. Trump bot has been scared of debating Joe Biden because he knows that this version of Joe is the best Joe Biden we've ever seen. He's more sharp and cogent than he has ever been, and fuck you if you don't believe it. Roll the debate footage to show my point.
And that is why removing taxes on tips is going to help working Americans.
President Biden, do you have a response?
Ash Fushing, that one time we dengumped you gal. Anyway, let me be clear.
Okay, he didn't have the best night of his life. I'm getting reports that the president has a cold and is dealing with jet lag from his trip 7 days ago. Everyone has bad nights, but at least he didn't lie as much as Trump bot. This just in. We are learning that some blue team leaders are expressing doubt in Biden's ability to win the election after the debate, but that's just insane. I love Biden with all my heart and soul, and he's the only one who can save our democracy. It's time to rally our support behind this great man. Here is our token hot Latina stereotype, alluring Beleza, to help us get a look at the polls.
Thank you, Abusive. As we look at the polls, we see support for Joe Biden has dropped to 1%, leading to likely 50-state electoral win for Trump bot.
Thanks, alluring. So as I was saying, maybe it's time for Joe to drop out of the race to save democracy. He's given us 50 years of public service and the economy that we're all enjoying today. Joe Biden announces that he will absolutely not step down from the presidential race unless he gets struck by lightning, but otherwise he is in this for sure, and he's not going to drop out. Joe Biden has been struck by lightning. In a crazy turn of events, the president experienced the exact situation he said would be the only reason to leave the race. Joe Biden has ended his candidacy for the presidency. In a random statement on X, he announced that for the good of democracy, he is dropping out of the presidential race. This just in, Vice President Kamala Harris has been anointed the new blue team candidate for president. After meeting with Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, she agreed to be installed as the presumptive candidate. Let's take a look at the polling for Trump bot versus Kamala.
Poll results coming in now are showing a near-dead heat between Trump bot and Kamala, with Kamala polling at 46%, showing that America is ready for an Indian Jamaican from a family of slave owners who no one has voted for to lead the country.
Well, that's pretty impressive. The American people seem to really love Kamala.
Oh no! I'm sorry, abusive, but the producer is telling me there's been a problem with the polls.
A problem? What do you mean?
It appears that people accidentally thought they were voting for former wrestling superstar Kamala, the Ugandan giant.
I am honored to receive such support from the American people. My platform of getting the blue team back to its roots of being for the working class and not Hollywood pedophiles seems to be resonating, and we couldn't be more happy. God bless America.
Pro-Palestinian protests have taken over college campuses across the country. Gay communists and trust fund kids have been camping on lawns, blocking traffic, and shutting down classes to show their support for Hamas. Nepotism Air is at Communist University.
There's nothing like the smell of an election year freak out, and this gathering of unshowered activists is no exception. I'm here at a silent dance that students are performing to stop all violence in the Middle East.
We're dancing in protest of the war and stuff. The silence is to represent the voices of the children victimized by Zionism.
This brave display is an expression of the love and tolerance, just like the tolerance armbands they have mandated all Jewish students to wear.
It's important that we identify Zionists for our safety.
The only way to fight Nazis is to use the power of the state to target Jewish people specifically.
The armbands mandated on the Jewish students are just one way these students are standing against fascism. The group Queers for Palestine has decided to take an even more hands-on approach.
Jews are white and Hamas is brown, so it's obvious who the good guys are here. We only see skin color and judge people entirely on that.
Hamas has responded to the outpouring of support it has received by extending an invite to all NAMBLA Plus community members.
Please stop sending your ignorant college students to us. Your NAMBLA Plus degeneracy is sinful to us. If you come, we will throw you directly into the wood chipper.
Since Hamas are more tolerant than the bigots here in the US, we have a Give Me Money account to send NAMBLA Plus members directly to Gaza to help stand against colonialism.
The Give Me Money campaign has been a huge success, collecting almost $1 billion since the idea was posted to the American people. Comments left in support say, "I wholeheartedly support those kids getting what they ask for, and I can't wait to see the look on their faces when they get there."
We have a shuttle that will pick you up from the airport and take you directly to the death line if you really want to come. Your lifestyle is a death sentence here. We're not going to give you an award for grooming children. We're not Afghanistan.
You can support Queers for Palestine in getting their plane tickets by donating at the link on the screen.
Dogs are sentient beings with their own experiences. Just because they can't speak doesn't mean they don't have their own struggles. We're here to give them a voice.
This is activist and Bark Out for Trans Paws founder Taylor Jordan.
The plight of our canine companions has been largely overlooked. We have to speak up for those who cannot bark for themselves.
Taylor Jordan and Taylor Jordan's partner, Jordan Taylor, began the movement to address the unique challenges faced by dogs that experience a sense of gender misalignment, highlighting the need for changes to the law.
The initiative has already rolled out several proposals, including a special doggy daycare that offers gender-neutral dog grooming and a trans-paw triennial clinic for behavioral consultations. But we need more legal protection, and that is why we need to make sure House Bill 119 passes.
HB 119 proposes to make it legal for people to perform sex changes on your pet without the pet parent's knowledge or consent. Similar laws were already passed into law by Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
I'm constantly thinking about the genitals of children and animals. You could call it my personal passion project. Let's get hashtags like transpaws and hashtag #BarkOutForRights trending.
The announcement has drawn a spectrum of reactions from the public, with one homophobic bigot commenting, "I think pet owners should know if their pets are getting treatment or surgery. Seems like common sense."
That's exactly what a Nazi would say.
Well, from all of us at W. Satan Blue City News, we wish you the best of luck.
It's election year, and that means it's time for blue team politicians to ramp up the usual scare tactics about abortion. Ever since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, women across the country are being forced to carry and deliver babies against their will. But with a new scientific breakthrough, there might be some good news on the horizon.
Women all over America are under attack. With the exception of experimental vaccines, the government should have no say over what a woman does with her body, and they should not be forced to give birth to babies.
I watched The Handmaid's Tale 300 times, and it's scary how America is exactly the same now.
Women are being forced to become baby-making factories by our politicians. We have no say anymore at all over our reproductive abilities.
The science of pregnancy has been up for debate for years now, with some scientists supporting the spontaneous pregnancy theory. Others say pregnancy happens when the invisible patriarchy leprechaun visits women in their sleep. But this revolutionary scientist claims to have found the answer.
We conducted a study of 150,000 women and contrasted it with pregnancy data since Roe was first enacted, and frankly, we were shocked. The data reveals that in 100% of cases, pregnancy only happened when women had sexual intercourse with a man.
This radical discovery could be a major game changer for women who have been living in mortal terror at the possibility of motherhood.
With this new knowledge, women can be empowered once again to take control of their bodies. By taking a couple simple steps, women can avoid pregnancy until they are ready for it.
That makes so much sense now. I was always wondering what all those birth control products were for.
I was so confused why the court was forcing me to make child support payments, but I get it now. Yeah, I slept with those women, so I guess it's fair.
It's not like we can stop having casual, unprotected sex. We're not that empowered.
In response to this news, feminists are planning to burn down the homes of every researcher involved in the studies and crucify them in public square.
The annual Global Conference of Blackmailed Child Enthusiasts is underway in Paris, masquerading as the Olympics as they do every 4 years. Celebrities, music artists, and tech billionaires are also in attendance to help celebrate the ceremonial tribute to Moloch, the ancient pagan god of child sacrifice, continue the ritual summoning of Cthulhu, and to promote environmentalism. Sexy Script Reader is in Paris with the story.
Over 700 private jets from around the world have landed here for wild orgies and drug-fueled sex parties with trafficked children from around the world. They will also discuss how to reduce carbon emissions from the poor and middle class.
Oh, it's an exciting year for us. The Olympics has always caused a spike in sexual trafficking and exploitation, but between the lack of prosecutions against child predators and the massive trafficking campaign that's been so successful at the United States southern border, the number of children we've been able to disappear is the highest it's been since Hillary Clinton and Oprah supplied humanitarian aid to Haiti.
The best way to fight climate change now is to complete the summoning ritual of Cthulhu, the cosmic entity of horror and insanity.
The BCE is also honoring some with the Jimmy Savile Award. The prestigious distinction is only awarded to those who can achieve the highest profile while being an obvious child enthusiast and sex trafficker. Previous winners include some of the most popular teen idols, sports heroes, and corrupt politicians.
Sex trafficking is now a $150 billion industry, and the public has an intentional blind spot to it. We learned a long time ago that if we can distract people with enough sports or controversy, we can literally do anything.
I am told that the BCE has some pretty sensational distractions set up this year. No spoilers, but I think we're going to see some brutal mixed gender boxing matches that should provide quite the spectacle and keep everyone from noticing the degeneracy of their ruling class. Stay tuned for updates.
Thank you, Sexy. Great job again as always.
Sometimes I wonder if we are really doing the right thing by covering for child traffickers.
Yeah, sometimes I think about it too, but then I look at my bank account.
Good point. Besides, those kids are all poor. Our final story tonight. A lawsuit has been filed against a major news anchor, accusing him of sexual misconduct, abuse, and harassment.
You know, women have a hard time in this industry, and it frankly makes me sick. The way women are considered disposable and objectified is just a reminder that we still live in a patriarchy, and men need to do better. The suit is being brought by former W. Satanfield correspondent, distractingly attractive against senior anchor, abusive narcissist.
We apologize for that brief interruption and ask that you forget the last story. Abusive narcissist has suddenly decided to take some vacation time. And that concludes the stories for this week, but don't worry. We will be back soon with all the talking points and fake news that you need to feel smart. In the meantime, Make sure that you don't do your own research or talk to anyone with a different point of view. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.